Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the last two sections together today. We are actually going to skip mailings because that is not something that you need to know in order to be successful at typing papers for school. That may come at a later date for a different lesson. But as for today, we're going to cover these last two, review and view, and look at the different options that we have with both of those tabs. All right, so in the proofing section, you can see you have spelling and grammar. It's just a spell check that you typically would use. If you have words that you are not familiar with, you can define them. Thesaurus, maybe you want to use a different word. You can find a word that is similar in their meaning, and then you can just count the words. Now, sometimes when you write a paper, the teacher wants to know how many words are in the paper. If you are using Microsoft Word and you look down here at the bottom, it tells you how many words are in the total paper. However, if you just want to know how many words are in a paragraph, you can select it. As you highlight the paragraph, you can see it tells you how many words are selected out of the total. And so even though it's a neat option for you, you can easily see that number down here at the bottom. One of the new things that's happening in Microsoft is that they allow you to comment on things. So what has happened in past, if a teacher wants to comment on something, and in a typical paper, they would just write next to it. But now that when you turn digital copies in, they add a comment and they may type something such as, "This was a good use of words." And you can see it changes the margin here so that you can see what is being commented on your paper. And it affects the whole paper as opposed to just that little section right there. So the whole paper is waiting for comments from somebody. So we could just do this here and click new comment, and this is a great sentence. And you can see all of it there. Now you can also delete them. You can move back and forth between comments. There's nothing really here that you need to be aware of. These are things that you do not need to be aware of or to use. So let's go ahead and hop into view. That's really it for review. So let's go ahead and hop into view. So in the view tab, pretty much all you're looking at here is how the paper looks when you're typing it. It's not how it's printed, but how it looks to you. So there's a couple of different options here you can have for how you read your paper. Okay, so that was one option, and you can see it kind of slides it like a little book. That's all fun. I click on view. There we go. All right, and we can choose web layout, and so it makes it look like it's a website as opposed to a paper. And there's a couple other things. If you have maybe an outline that you're using for notes or something, it can put that out for you. The other thing is you don't have to be in this tab to see these things here. This is actually down here in the bottom. You can see these tabs down here, and you can change it to whichever one you like the most, as well as having the zoom here, which you can find up here as well. Now in all of this, probably the most important one that I would like you to see here is this ruler option. If you don't have that selected, or you don't have your ruler that you can see, all you have to do is click on view, click on ruler, and you can see where your margins are. You can see where your indentations are. You can create tabs, which we'll cover at a later date. So you can see all these different things once you have the ruler. If you take that ruler away, you don't have it. And so that's probably one of the more important things that you need inside of the view for editing purposes. And that's really it when it comes to the view tab and the review tab.